Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be doing the ASMR challenge. Psych! Hey guys, what is up? What's going on? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is the subscriber chooses my makeup challenge. I've been wanting to do this for a minute. It was originally started by Jamie Page Beauty here on the internet. So shout out to Jamie. She always comes up with some killer tags. She also created the boyfriend buys my makeup challenge. So y'all know this is gonna be a good one. What I did is I went over on my Instagram stories and I put a few different products in categories like powder, concealer, foundation, things like that. And I had you guys vote, so I did a poll, and whichever one got the highest amount of votes is the one I'm gonna use in today's video. Also, to make things a little bit more interesting, I had Babito go into my makeup collection and pick out 2 of everything. So I didn't go in and pick out these products. Babito actually picked them himself. So shout out to Babito. Always coming through in the clutch. If you guys are here for this video, if you guys are excited, don't forget to press that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to click that little bell so that you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video, which is 3 times a week, every single week. And without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and get this thing going. You guys voted on the NYX Hydra Touch oil primer. I hauled this so many months ago and I still have not gotten around to using it, so I'm actually really glad that Babito picked this out. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Smashbox oil primer, so I'm just really pressing it into my skin. It feels very slick. It also feels very, very moisturizing. It has a citrus scent to it, which isn't too strong. Normally, whenever I use beauty oils, sometimes they're a little bit too strong for me. Like the Fair Sally one, it feels really, really great on the skin, but it's just too strong of a scent for me, so I don't really reach for it that often. NYX, not bad. Good job, guys. Moving on to foundation, 58% of you guys wanted me to use the Becca Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream Foundation. I want to say he probably just grabbed one. I'm pretty sure this isn't my shade. This says tan, but we know I'm not tan. Let me go try to finesse a shade in my makeup collection. I'm gonna use my MAC 190 foundation brush and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the shade called Driftwood and I'm gonna go ahead and paint her on my face. Honestly, this doesn't look too bad. I was a little worried. I was a little concerned, but I think I can make this work. Foundation has a weird scent to it. This foundation says ultimate coverage, like the ultimate coverage, and I'm all about ultimate coverage, so we'll see if I end up liking this. I'm going to use a damp Morphe sponge. I did spray it with some MAC Fix Plus, and we're just going to go ahead and pounce this into the skin. This looks nice. It has like really, really good coverage to it. Okay, Becca. We see you, Becca. It is very, very thick though. Like it's super thick. I feel like when I buff this out with a sponge, it's kind of like picking up the product. So I don't know if a sponge is the best way to apply it. Like, do you guys see what's happening here? I don't know what it is about this foundation, but it dries like insanely fast on the skin. And what happens is, since I'm using a brush, it kind of leaves like the streaking in the foundation. Like, I have no idea how to fix this. I wanted to bring you guys in so you could see what was happening with the foundation. I feel like once it dries, it kind of gets really, really weird. If I swipe it, you can see the streaks in it. And then if I pat it, it's like it's picking up the foundation. Like, what do I do? What do I do? I went ahead and removed all of the foundation because, as you can see, it was like it was on my skin, but it wasn't. It's like it wasn't sticking, and I'm not entirely sure if it was the foundation or if it was the primer. So since foundation has a lot to do with the overall look, I didn't want it to look terrible, so I went ahead and just wiped everything off. I'm going to switch to the other primer, which is the Urban Defense Complexion Primer, because I'm curious to see if the foundation performs better with this primer as opposed to the other primer, because the other one was an oil primer. So I'm not sure if the foundation just couldn't stick to my skin with the oil. After that, I'm gonna go right back into the foundation. I'm just gonna use my Morphe sponge and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the foundation and I'm just gonna apply it directly to the face. And I feel like it's going on a lot better. I'm not sure if it was because of that oil primer. Like, it was not sticking to the skin at all. Like, it was just coming right off. And you guys saw how much foundation I put on. So that's kind of weird to me. Honestly, guys, I'm a little bit shook by the coverage of the foundation. Like, the first time I applied it, I thought the coverage was really, really good. But the more and more I kept blending it out, I realized that the product wasn't staying on my face, and it had a lot to do with the primer oil. The foundation just couldn't stick to it. It just kept wiping off. That amazes me. Like, that honestly blows my mind. 54% of you said you wanted me to use the brand new Born This Way concealer by Too Faced. This is a multi-use sculpting concealer, so you can use it to conceal, contour, highlight, or just overall retouch. I am in the shade Vanilla, which is just like a little bit on the light side, but I feel like it will work. I'm not going to use as much of this concealer because I don't want it to completely alter the color of my foundation. So I'm going to pop some of this down the center of my face as well, which is just going to draw forth light. My camera was looking a little bit bright, so I brought the brightness down a little bit. Sorry, Babito isn't here. I'm filming solo dolo today, which kind of sucks, but it's all right. I took the concealer, I put it all over, and I'm going to use my Morphe sponge. I'm going to spray it with some Fix Plus, and I'm just going to pounce it underneath my eye. Oh, this concealer is stunning. It's gorgeous. I definitely feel like it's giving Tarte Shape Tape a run for all its money. All of it. Like, look how flawless my under eyes look. It's crazy. I'm also going to take this concealer onto my eyelids because I didn't give you guys an eyeshadow primer to vote on because typically I just use my concealer, so that's what I'm doing. I figured whatever concealer you guys chose, I would just put it on my eyelids. So, hi! Now that I'm looking pretty scary with only foundation and concealer, I'm gonna move on to face powder. 56% of you guys voted on the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. You can get this at Walmart for like $5 to $6. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bake with this. I wanna make sure I have no creasing underneath my eye first. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and pack it right under here to bake. One thing I will say I really love about this powder, you guys, is that it is so inexpensive and you get absolutely no flashback with it. And honestly, it doesn't really get much better than that. I'm also going to bake my chin. I'm pretty much going to bake in all the areas where I applied that concealer, just because I don't want it to budge and I don't want it to move. So I'm also taking quite a bit of this onto my forehead. We're going for a full beat today. We want to not even look like ourselves. We want to be porcelain. We want to be flawless. Bitch, the world ain't ready. Woo! Looking like James Charles in his bitch. But I'm going to move on to face powder. 56% of you said that you wanted me to use the Milani Shine Proof powder. This is in the shade Natural 04. And I'm going to take that on a big fluffy brush. This is by Sigma. And I'm going to set all the areas of my face that I did not apply that translucent setting powder. I look hella powdery. But it's alright. I'm going in and I'm just packing this powder on. Like I said, I am setting my entire face at this point, and I'm skimming over the areas that have that loose powder just because I do want it to bake a little bit longer. I'm gonna move on to my brows because Lord have mercy, they need some help right now, and I don't want to look crazy while I'm doing my eyeshadow, so I'm gonna use the Foolproof Brow Powder. 65% of you said you wanted me to use this. I have never use this on my channel. It has two different shades. It has the shade for the front and then the shade for the tail. It also came with this applicator. It's kind of like a sponge, and I'm assuming that's what you use to apply the powder. I am in the shade 5 in case you guys were interested. I'm going to use a Benefit spoolie, and I'm just going to go ahead and comb through my brows because I did get a lot of concealer and foundation in them, so I need to kind of like work it out so that way they're not so ashy. I'm not entirely sure if you guys can see this, but it's kind of giving me direction on how to use the product. It wants me to sweep the lighter shade from the start of the brow to the arch. So I'm going to use a little sponge and I'm going to just fill in. This is kind of weird that they would choose a sponge for this, but maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, I can definitely see it's filling in my brows a little bit. I will say it is a little bit hard to control where exactly the product is going. I do like a little bit more of a feathered brow, so this is kind of just like smudging the product everywhere, and I feel like my brows are like way too thick for this. So I don't really think it's a product that I don't like. I think it's more so the applicator. I'm gonna use my spoolie and I'm just gonna go ahead and brush out some of this powder so that way it's a little bit more blended, because I couldn't do much blending with just that sponge tip applicator. So this is a brow I can definitely work with it. It's not super harsh. It is a little bit more of a softer brow, which I can get down with. The only thing I will say is that the little sponge that it came with to apply the product wasn't ideal, because I felt like I was just kind of smudging it and I wasn't essentially blending the product how I wanted to. So that's kind of like it to me, but I'm going to use a little bit of the Born This Way concealer to carve out underneath the brow, which is going to give me more of a clean, sharp look. Took me a little minute to do the brows, but we're finally done. I'm going to move on to eyes. I'm going to be using the Del Mar palette by ColourPop. This just launched, and guys, look at the colors on this palette. Like, it is stunning. It's beautiful. When Mavito saw it, he's like, you should definitely put that in the subscriber picks my makeup video because it's completely out of your comfort zone. And I was like, yeah, but then they're gonna pick it. And then he's like, that's like the point of the video. So you guys ended up picking this one, and I know it's because you've really been wanting me to step outside of my comfort zone. So I see you, I feel you, I hear you. You're gonna get it in this video. The first shade I'm going to take in the palette is a warm tone brown called Boozy. I'm going to take it on my Morphe M441, and I'm going to rock it into my crease right here. So I'm just starting in big circular motions towards the outer V, and then I'm just going to go ahead and sweep it inwards. And just so that way you guys are aware, I did not set my crease down with any translucent powder because I really wanted these shadows to show up to their full intensity. I'm going to take a little bit of that Airspun powder on a flat brush like this, and I'm going to pop it right here towards the outer corner of my eye, just so that way I can kind of catch any fallout. The next shade I'm going to use in the palette is a shade that I know you guys all are anticipating, and it's that blue shade called Gridlock, which is a really beautiful teal aqua blue. Like, it is so stunning. I'm going to spray my brush a little bit with Fix Plus, and I'm going to just pop this all over the lid. Oh my god. Like, it is beautiful. I really can't right now. Honestly, I can't. I really can't. I'm quaking. Like, I'm shocked, I'm shooketh, I'm shook. Like, this is such a beautiful shade. Like, do you guys see how beautiful it's going on the lid? I'm gonna use my Morphe M507, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of the shade called Boozy. That's such a funny name, Boozy. I'm gonna take it right here into the crease, and I'm going to try to put it as close to the blue as possible by just running my brush back and forth. I'm kind of building my crease a little bit. I'm now realizing I probably should have built it up a little bit more before applying the blue, but I could still make her work because the Morphe M507 is such a small, precise brush that it makes it really, really easy to build color in that area without getting it like everywhere. I'm going to take a clean Morphe M433, and I'm going to run it alongside the edge just so that way it's nice and blown out. I want to use a little bit of this dark brown shade called Top Down on a Morphe M321, which is a pencil brush. I'm going to use this pencil brush, and I'm going to focus this brown shade right here on the very outer corner, like where the blue is, just to kind of like deepen things up a little bit, just because I feel like this look is really lacking dimension. So I'm just going to go ahead and jiggle her right here in this area. I'm using a Morphe M507 now, and I'm really just going to buff this dark brown shade right here in the very inner corner and on the outer V as well. And like I said, this is really just going to add overall dimension to the look because I felt like it was just very like flat blue, you know? So I want to add a little bit of drama. If you look at this side and this side definitely calls for a lot more dimension, whereas this side is just very flat and blue, and I just feel like this side looks a lot better in my opinion. I'm going to take that dark brown, and I'm just going to lightly apply it directly above just to bring everything together. Once I have that dark brown melted into the blue, I'm going to go in with a little bit more just to kind of re-intensify because I kind of lost a little bit of it in the process of blending that brown into the look. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the shade called My Way. I'm going to spray it with a little bit of Fix Plus, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it in the very center to add, you know, a little bit more of a contrast of color. And this is going to be extremely subtle, but it's going to just add a pop to the look. Honey, like, I wasn't expecting this. On a Morphe M507, I'm taking a little bit of Boozy, and I'm just running her alongside my lower lash line. Now I'm doing this in a super messy, smoky way because this is a fairly light color. So it's essentially going to be the first color I lay down before I really intensify it with a deeper color. So you want to just smoke her all the way out. Like, blow that bitch out. No, but really, do that. Going in with a flat definer brush by Sigma, I'm going to pick up the shade Top Down, and I'm going to connect it right here on the lower lash line, and I'm pushing this color closest to the lash line. Then I'm going to take my Morphe M507 and I'm really going to buff out that brown. And as you can see, I didn't take it all the way in. I stopped about midway. The lash shadow I'm going to take from the palette is this one right here called Sorbet. And you guys can probably guess what I'm going to do with her. I am going to pop her in the very inner corner just because, I don't know, I want more of like a contrast, so I'm gonna stick her right here. Confessions, you guys, it's the very next day, yesterday, which is the footage you guys saw right before this. My eyes started to water like crazy, so I literally had to take off all of my makeup, and I'm trying again today. So I did the same exact steps, use the same exact products as I did in the footage before. We're gonna go ahead and pick up on liner. Now I gave you guys the option between a white liner and a black liner, and 51% of you said you wanted to see me use the white eyeliner, which just blew my mind. Like, if this isn't sabotage, I don't know what is. I have the white NYX eyeliner. I do know for a fact that this is just not one of those liners that you can put over color just because it's not as opaque, and it kind of just like mixes with the eyeshadow and it doesn't really look all that hot. So I am gonna use this, but I'm gonna try to finesse it and use it in a different way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my Too Faced Born This Way concealer on a MAC 210 brush, and I'm gonna create an intense cat eye wing. This is really just going to mute out that space, and I'm gonna be able to lay an eyeshadow directly over top. So I'm gonna kind of go for like a more colorful eyeliner, if you get my drift. So after doing your wing with concealer, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. And I know it looks really, really crazy, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my MAC 210 eyeliner brush. If you guys don't own this brush, I definitely recommend that you pick it up because it is literally amazing for applying any gel eyeliner. And my friend Tanya from Kiss and Makeup actually put me onto this brush. So shout out to Tanya because she's bae all day. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to fill in that concealer eyeliner with a little bit of shadow. I'm gonna use the shade called Sorbet, which is that bright gold that we put in our very inner tear duct, and I'm going to take it on that MAC 210, and I'm just going to go ahead and place it directly over top of the concealer, and the concealer is just acting as a nice sticky base for that shadow to stick to. Now this does take a little bit to build up, but the end result is absolutely beautiful. So just remain patient and continue to layer on that shadow, just so that way it's nice and vibrant. So once I get about halfway, I'm actually gonna switch colors. I'm gonna pick up that bronze shade in the palette called Wild One, and I'm gonna put it on the very end. So I kind of want to do like a gradient eyeliner. You see me? You see what I did there? So I'm just gonna go ahead and dust off all the pigment that kind of just like fell on my cheek. Did I have foundation in my hair this whole time? This whole time, y'all weren't even gonna tell me? Gosh, thought we looked out for each other. I do need to use a white eyeliner in some way, shape, or form, so I'm actually going to take a little bit of this and apply it directly over top of that gold, but only keeping it in the very inner half of the eye. That sounded so confusing. Just watch me. And that's it. Okay, I'm feeling it. I can work with it. You guys also had the option between two glitter liners from Urban Decay. Honestly, I don't even know why I incorporated glitter liner into the mix because now I'm doing the most. Like, I already have enough going on with my eyes, but Midnight Cowboy did win. It is somewhat of a gold, and I think I'm just going to pop this in the very inner corner where I put that gold shade. Just a little bit. We don't even need a lot here. Boom. Done. For mascara, 72% of you voted for the Falsies by Maybelline. Okay, I see you want me to throw it back. I actually haven't used this in so long, but overall I do really like Maybelline mascara, so I'm not even mad at it. So I can definitely say that the look is slowly but surely coming together. It definitely calls for lashes, and 58% of you voted on the New Balance lashes in Bella Bay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these on, and then we will be right back. So now that lashes are on, I'm now going to go ahead and move on to bronzer. 67% of you wanted me to use the Morphe bronzer in Celebutante. I think that's how you say it. So I'm going to mix the two shades together to kind of bronze up my face a little bit. Honestly, this is a really pretty bronzer. I do really like it. I will definitely say the Morphe bronzer, she's growing on me. She's really pretty. And I need color. Like, I look pasty. So I'm really bronzing up my forehead a little bit more than usual. Okay, so moving on, I gave you guys the option between 2 under eye powders and you guys chose the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette by 56%. So I'm going to pop a little bit of the center shade right here directly underneath my eye to kind of, you know, highlight and brighten. And I'm gonna focus the majority of it right here. I'm also going to take a little bit of this on my chin and just a little bit on my forehead. I'm also going to take my finger into the center powder like so, and I'm going to pop her down the center of my nose to highlight her a little bit more. For highlight, 56% of you wanted me to use the brand new Pixie Glowy Gossamer Duo, so I am going to be using this one, and this one is in the shade Subtle Sunrise. I'm going to take it on a Morphe M510, and I'm going to pick up the one that's a little bit more champagne, and I'm going to pop it right here. And I'm also going to pop some of this highlighter on my Cupid's bow. My Cupid's bow needs to calm down. So for blush, you guys chose the California Blush by Benefit by 74%. Like, nobody wanted to see the Sigma blush. Nobody. So I'm going to take this blush brush right here by Smashbox, and I'm going to just pop her on and really focus a lot of it at the apples because I love blush. I love it. We're like 2 products away from being done, but 57% of you wanted me to use this guy, which is the Ultra Satin Lip in collaboration with I Love City E. This one is in the shade 951. This lip color though is bomb. You guys did a really good job. The last thing I have to do is set my face in place, and I'm hoping like I don't look as like powdery at the end of it. I am going to be using the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. 54% of you wanted me to use this. So I'm going to give her a little shake, and we're going to do a spray down. Whew! My lashes are coming all the way off right now. All right, and this is the final and completed look using all the products you guys picked out for me over on the gram. Honestly, I think things came together. Like, honestly, I was doubting it probably the whole way through, and then when I got to the end, I was like, you know what, it's not that bad, and I think they did a really good job. I am really happy that you guys pushed me out of my comfort zone and picked a palette that I normally wouldn't gravitate towards. This one by ColourPop. It's bae. Like, it is so pigmented, it is so creamy, it's buttery, it's buildable, it's blendable. So if you guys are thinking about snagging this, I say yes. Okay, so that is that. The only thing I will say, the only product I had trouble with is the NYX Hydra Touch primer oil, which you guys saw in the very beginning. It was like right out of the gates, it was giving me some issues. So I'm definitely going to try that out with other foundations and see if the same thing happens, because I'm curious now. Like, I'm really curious to see if foundations can actually stick to this product. So I'll keep you guys updated. Check the description box in a few days. And with that, you guys, I don't have much else to say except make sure you guys are subscribed, because I've been uploading 3 new videos every single week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 9 a.m. and you guys don't want to miss out on the fire.
Oh my God,
that I'm posting on this channel. So I love you. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. The real question is, did you subscribe? If you did not, press this button right here, and also don't forget to check out some of my other videos, because I like to think we have a pretty amazing time on my channel. Keep the marathon going and click these other 2 videos that I have chilling right here. And with that, I'm gonna go because I'm hungry and I'm gonna go see a movie. Toodles! Mwah!